The person was talking. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Admitting. Can you put don't understand why it's showing them. Just wanted to show us. Here, speaker gallery.
Somebody in their team is Eric Medina. Somebody else. Yeah, they are. Ask to mute, to unmute.
I know. I want.
You are. Somebody in
guys.
there. How are you?
How are you,
Eric
sweetheart?
Medina.
I'm good.
Somebody else. Are. Ask to mute, to unmute. You are. You are.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. If you could please mute yourself. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. If you could please mute yourself. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. If you could please mute yourself. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. If you could please mute yourself. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. If you could
There we go.
But it still showed him.
There we go.
Okay, we're good now. We're good now. Bye. Okay, baby,
Now she can turn on her camera too. She can turn on her camera too. It won't call her and tell her she can turn on her camera too, because now it won't show her. It will show her only when if she
I know.
speaks.
Okay, you can turn on your camera if you like. Bye. Hi, how are you? Good.
The largest in-person meeting. we've had. I'm gonna go sit next to Sean. Perfect. So I'm close by. Kudra. Wherever you want me.
Baby. How are you?
I'm not, I don't have an expired license. Right.
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, I want to see what you're No, he said it doesn't count.
Yes, I did.
Oh, and so did you find the link?
Yes.
And so when they play them right at the end.
I have it on.
Yeah, okay. Miss your mic. Nice tie, like it. Good looking. Good looking. All right, guys. Well, hey, Robert Cole's in the house, so we can get started. Hello, Robert. How are you? We got our favorite cowboy standing in the back. You got to check out those boots, man. Those are unbelievable. But I'm excited to be here with you guys today. Super exciting announcement for you today. And you know, the great thing about these little gatherings is I just feel like I'm with friends. You guys are all you feel like family to me. And you know, if Agent Inc. has anything, it's this culture that we built by attracting like people. And just your professionalism and your loyalty and your friendship is just so important to me and all of our executive team and our marketing team. But Hey, it's a crazy world out there, right? It's a lot of things going on, a lot of changes. And of course, our industry's been hit and impacted significantly. So I would say since I noticed it went last July, last August, our world kind of changed a little bit. And, it's, I always say the Lord leads, right? And, the Lord is leading us in ways as a group, as a company that I just sit back and say, maybe not what I envisioned, but this is where we're going, is for the best. And I love that our leadership looks at it that way too. But I wanted to just be with you today. I flew in from Idaho. I shaved my beard, cut my hair, and I look a little more like Orange County this morning than I did a couple of days ago. But I wanted to just be with you in person and spend a little time with you, have some fun today. So first of all, what do you think about our new world headquarters?
Pretty fancy.
We looked at this building. Hunter worked here for a while with was it Bootstrap Ventures that you were working with? And he said, you got to come over here and check out the Broadway, or the boardwalk, I'm sorry. And so I came over. This is a Class A building. And so we looked at it for about 4 years ago. I brought Scott and over and we went and we did Corona Del Mar instead. But here we are today, and we've moved out of all of our dedicated mortar and brick for the benefit of you. And I'll explain that in a little bit. But we do have dedicated space here. We have a compliant escrow office here, dedicated escrow office, and you guys are welcome to use this. And I spent all day yesterday here. It's awesome, right? There's a great gym downstairs. It's got showers and lockers, and so you can come and work out, enjoy the restaurants here. There's some great meeting areas, so it's got a lot more room and flexibility. Obviously, we couldn't have a meeting like this in Corona Del Mar. I didn't have room for it, so a lot more flexibility here, and it's more efficient for us as a company. Gives us room to give more of the commission dollars back to you, which is what we're all about. So I wanted to back up this morning a little bit and just talk about our journey. So it was about 3.5 years ago. Scott McDonald, who I believe is the greatest executive you'll ever meet in residential real estate. I say it all the time. Just give it up for Scott.
Just good at staying out of your way. That is
No, you're way more than that. You're so humble. But we said, hey, let's build another brokerage company. As many of you guys know, I had built Strata Properties, and there was a little Cinderella story. Sold 3 years later to Coldwell Banker for a large amount. And Scott knew I wanted to do it again, but we wanted to do it a little bit differently. We wanted to not to be a boutique. We didn't want to be an Arbor or a Villa or these little brands. We wanted to build something that brought great value and growth to every one of our agents. I gave them equity, gave them revenue share, all these wonderful things that maybe some of us could retire in style someday, and really build something that was unique. I mean, we wanted to do something that was world-class, that was unique, and that was globally competitive. And so, we started this journey about 3.5 years ago. We really looked around. We said, okay, what should agentinc, which I love the brand. I know you do too, or you probably wouldn't be here with us, but that brand says a lot. It's an agent-centric brand. We believe that the agent is the cornerstone of real estate and always will be. I mean, with Redfin and Zillow and everybody trying to take us out of the game through Silicon Valley and technology, we believe that the agent is the bedrock of real estate and always will be. And so we've put a big bet on that, and I hope you have too. So our focus really was, how do you create the best platform in the world so that our agents can do better with us than anywhere else? Because if we do that, then we've succeeded and you'll succeed, right? And so, when we looked around, we said, okay, the traditional big boxes are not growing, right? They're shrinking in agent count, and this new modern business plan, which gives agents stock awards, revenue share, and caps them. That's a very competitive thing, right? And we've got some great news for you guys today. Those three things really are the financial engines of the future, we believe. And there's a couple companies out there doing it well. One is EXP, one is Real, another one's Fathom, a publicly traded company. They have a a flat fee structure, though. They don't have the revenue share and the cap model. So anyway, we looked at it and said, this is what we want to put into our company. We want to put these three financial engines into our company. We want to do a lot more. We want to build an enterprise that's made up of mortgage. Dylan, Patty, you say hello this morning, raise your hand. A nationwide mortgage company can be very valuable. We also want to build a nationwide title company. We want to have insurance as a component to agenting. And we want to make all these and on and on. As you guys know, we have several ancillary companies, including auction, things like that we want to build into a seamless experience for the customer. That's the goal. I love this analogy the other day that, in fact, one of the people that I've been speaking to a lot lately used this analogy. He said, Amazon didn't create anything new. They just used what was already in place for a customer experience, right? So there was already DHL. There was already the delivery systems. There were already the mom and pop shops and the shopping carts. They just layered onto all that stuff a brand that you could trust and know that you were going to get your delivery in a certain amount of time. And they created this experience. And so that's our goal. And we know that if our customer has a great experience tomorrow, then your financial future is secure. And so bringing in-house these services and layering on this this great customer experience really is that's what we're all about, and that's what we're working on. So let's go back. So let's talk about the journey. So, we started having events at Selva and Rancho Santa Fe and Corona del Mar. We had over 300 of them. We had a lot of people join. Many of you joined through some of those events, but the growth was kind of slow, right? I mean, we have 253 agents today, and we like having hundreds of these. We realized that until we have stock, we're simply not that competitive, right? I mean, we just haven't evolved our vision to be what it is that we've promised you, that we've told you where we're going and what it is that we want to achieve. And so it's a struggle, it's a startup company. You're building and doing all these things. And so, here we are 3.5 years into it. I am, I think we can all say the last couple of years have been a bit strange, right? With lockdowns and COVID and all the unusual things that have been thrown at all of us. The incredibly low interest rates that whipsawed up to 7%. And, it's just been a strange few years. But, we have that desire, burning desire. Scott, likes to say we want to take over the world, but to grow this company and give you the things that we laid out to you as our vision originally. So I'm really excited today. There's many ways to build a company, right? You can build it organically, which is what we've been doing, or there's such a thing as mergers and acquisitions, right? And today I'm going to announce to you that we have a great accelerator, because tomorrow you're going to have two of the things that we've promised you that you didn't have yesterday, and one of them is liquid stock. Two is a cap. So we're happy to announce to you that we're very close to signing our agreement with a company called Real, which will power agentinc. So what that means is to the public is no change, right? Agentinc is agentinc. That's what you'll see on advertising. There's really no perception change to our brand. The great thing for you is that what we've been talking about now for 3 years, you have, right? So you're going to get stock as agents in REAX is the ticker symbol. It was, I think it's trading this morning at $1.40. That's close to $250 million market cap. And we believe they have 9,000 agents right now. I believe they'll get to 100,000 agents before EXP does. they are the fastest growing real estate company in the world. And what I like most about them, and Scott, I know you agree with this, is the fresh energy, the fresh leadership. Back in 2000, I think it was 2011, after the crash of 08 and all the fun stuff that we went through in the last down cycle, I partnered with Sharon. And Sharon at the time was with TELUS. And I really love the guy. He's just a great speaker, he's a great energy, but he's now the president of Real. So he just joined them. And we're going to play a little clip from him a little bit later, just so you get a feel for his leadership and his culture. But it's just a great addition to our team, right? So what I call an accelerator is giving you the things we've been promising you, stock in this new publicly traded company. And when you move your license over to Real as an agentinc agent, like I say, we're not losing our brand. The public perception will not change. Then you'll begin to be able to get stock in the 4 ways that they give it out. And Scott, you can articulate that a little bit better than me, go run through the details of that. But this is something I'm very excited about because, if all throughout my vision for us is that, you've got the brokerage over here. And it's a way to build a sales force, right? I mean, you attract people to a good culture, a good brand, a good sales force. And as that grows, by the way, brokerage, especially today, is a very low profit business, right? I mean, think about it. When I built Strata back in 2000, our splits were 60-40, right? I mean, we made a lot of money. We had the same amount of agents. We had 300 agents. But it's when splits are 60-40, brokerages were very healthy. They made a lot of money. And we had mortgage and we had escrow. And so the whole thing was just, it was a great business model. Today, in order to be competitive, and most of this is because of the internet and Zillow and everything else that's grown with the industry, there's almost no money in brokerage. In fact, if you look at EXP, it takes them 36,000 transactions every year to turn a profit. Okay, think about that. Fathom founder Joshua told me the other day, 9,000 transactions on a flat fee model to turn a profit. So I mean, the brokerage in and of itself is just not very profitable. So why do you do it? Well, you do it so that you can make money on escrow. It's not working very well. You do it so that you can make money on title and mortgage. We'll put mortgage up here because we got Dylan and Patty in the house with them, so very important. And you do it so that you can make money on your ancillaries, and that's really those businesses are fairly profitable. They drop a margin to the bottom line. They're synergistic. You're not spending as much on advertising. Your compression rates aren't what they are in brokerage. Jerry's here too, so we'll put commercial in here. And then auction and insurance. And we're going to title this, I call it the enterprise, right? So, so with this accelerator, by all of us joining or merging, I should say, with Real, now our mortgage company gets to call on, instead of calling on 253 agents in a couple states, Dylan, you get to call on 9,000 agents and growing, right? In 48 states, right? Escrow, I think there's 1,000 agents in California that Kim Ornelas can now do business with. Title, something that we're very excited about. Michael Kemfer, say hello. Wait. Mike was working with a Fortune 500 company to help us underwrite title across the nation. We're looking at buying one right now that is licensed in 24 states already. And so we're completely recharacterizing the brand agentinc. If you think about it now, we're powered by a publicly traded company. And by the way, they have 30 million cash in the bank, right? So you don't have to worry about, the financial side of Agent Inc. because all of a sudden we're very flush, right? We're very flush with cash and already licensed in several provinces in Canada. So we have all this room to grow. We have this massive accelerator. I believe that we'll have 1,000 agents just in California by the end of this year. Recruiting is going to become so much easier, right? Because we have the full package. We can deliver now what we've been hoping to, right? So tomorrow I get to go be with Carrie Thompson. Is Carrie, you here in the house?
I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Anyway, she's got 60. Oh, hi Carrie. She's got 60 agents, 50 or 60 agents showing up tomorrow. We'll recruit most of them, which will be very different than the meetings we've had before, the presentations we've had before, because we have this now robust full package to deliver the vision that we had originally. So what's that mean for you? Well, your revenue share will become something that's much easier, right? Much more fruitful. Because again, always throughout my career, I wanted to position myself as a top agent with the best company, number one company. And because, the way you position yourself as an agent makes a difference in if your phone rings, right? So for us to be a part of the fastest growing real estate company in the world, publicly traded, with PR announcements going out all the time, and then this wonderful culture and this wonderful brand that we have, you've positioned yourself where you can be that top agent with the number one company in the world and the fastest growing. So to me, that's really exciting for each one of you, because you just want to position yourself there. But excited to be with you tomorrow, Carrie. And I'm excited to do our first pitch, recharacterize as a company. And so we're getting back to Michael Canfor. As many of you know, I've been out working on our Series B capital raise. And when you go out to friends and family for raising money, I jokingly say you realize how poor your family is and how few friends you have. And then a lot of the funds that we were talking to just looked at us as we're too small, right? I mean, 250 agents. I mean, they said, geez, unless I can write you a $50 million check, I'm not really interested in messing with you, right? Because we're too small, we have too much risk. And so, and plus we're in a climate right now where nobody wants to fund anything having to do with real estate, right? I mean, we experienced that in 2008 and here we are again. And so the climate is just not there. So to me, doing this merger makes absolutely 100%. And I think that, we'll see it help us get where we've wanted to be, and spread this brand carefully with great agents, with great leadership and with great culture across the United States and into Canada. And hopefully we're working on Mexico as well. And so we're just really excited. Scott and I are convinced that this is absolutely a no-brainer, the right move for all of us. And we think this is just great news for you, especially. So anyway, what do we have to offer that's better than real? That's a good question, right? Yeah. Well, we think we're pretty cool. We think we're pretty special. We love our brand, right? We love each other. But let's get, let's really drill down on that and talk about what is the value add of being with Agent Inc. And so, if you were to just join Real, you have everything they offer, right? The cap, which is, by the way, is $12,000. So none of you will pay more than $12,000 next year, period, right? Some of you pay more than that in January, right? So that's great? That's pretty good news, right? Yes, you have a cap. And the split is 85-15 up until you cap. So, very competitive split. EXP is 80-20, Real's 85-15, EXP's cap is 16, Real is 12. So you can see why they're growing so much faster than EXP right now, because they kind of have a little more aggressive financial model.
What are the options after you cap?
You pay a small fee per transaction, until you cap that. And then once you do a certain amount of business, then, you become, what's it called? It's not a pinnacle, it's a
Icon.
icon. Is it icon? Anyway, there's a name for it. And that's when you get, I think, a bunch more stock for achieving those financial goals during the year. So anyway, great benefits to you. So what we're doing is we're also matching whatever stock you have over here in what I call our enterprise. And our enterprises will be held in a Delaware corporation called agentinc World Holding. So as Dylan and Patty roll out this mortgage company across the nation, and as Mike helps us grow the title company across the nation, and as we build out insurance and all these wonderful ancillaries, getting to call on this much larger size of agents, pool of agents licensed in all the state, then your ownership, your equity over here will grow as well. And I actually think this will be of significant value. Now, for the time being, this side will stay private. And so we haven't figured all this out yet, but we'll probably just do annual distributions, right? But that's a unique offering, right? It's something that nobody else is doing, and as a company, our focus really is on that seamless, fantastic customer experience, which will ensure your future. But Scott, I'm going to have you come up, and I've been talking a long time, and I'm a little dry. So I'll let you talk about how excited you are about this. I know you share your enthusiasm with me every day. Yeah. So anyway, I'll let you take over for a little while.
Thanks. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Yeah, and it is an evolution back to a vision that was so clear at the beginning with John that we want to build something so significant that everybody that's a member can benefit financially in a big way. And that's the original vision. And we've lost few agents fairly recently, and they literally said to me, I just want to be part of a little boutique company. And I get that. And that's great. But it was never the original vision with the guy that thinks bigger than anybody on the planet. And so this is a step that direction. And one of the things we've learned in this process of thinking that we build it all ourselves is that the number of moving parts is so much bigger than you think, and the amount of money needed to create what we're going to be able to merge into now is mind-boggling. And
you're right about that. It takes $5 million a year to run a public company. And that's why it takes 36,000 transactions to become profitable.
yeah, it's just,
And we think we just skip all that and just use that accelerator to build everything else we envision, to build the equity much faster for you than we envision.
yeah. And, welcome to the world. Welcome to the real estate world. The rate of change is not going to slow down, and getting out in front of it is a huge opportunity. And so Real is now marketing themselves as the fastest growing publicly traded real estate firm in the world. It's a little moniker I'm noticing under, Sharon, their president, and other people. And I mean, that doesn't happen by osmosis. And, it's back to that reality that how do you add more value to the partnership between the agent and the company? And John tells the story of going back to Strata Properties back in the day in Newport. It's a huge success. And then John's thinking big, and they're all thinking, we got a great boutique and this is fine and all's good. And John's saying, well, we can be so much more. We can grow. And how do we bring the agents into this phenomenal success story? And he says the other owners go, well, who cares about that? We have something great. And then, as most of you know, the Coldwell Banker came along, wrote them a massive check, and they sold, and the owners made a little bit of money, and the agents got nothing. And there you go. But when John was telling me that story is in the beginning, when we were talking about what a model ought to look like for today, I said to him, I said, have you heard of eXp Realty? And back then when he goes, no, because really nobody really had back then. I said, they have a model where their agents are going to have stock. It already exists, stock in the company, a cap on commission, an aggressive commission split. And I said, even though the brand is terrible, I shouldn't say that. The brand is not a brand that most people look at and go, man, this brand is incredible. Even without having a brand identity that anybody was going, this is amazing. Said the financial ingredients alone are going to cause this company to grow. And they did.
72,000 agents later.
Yeah,
Right.
they're now at 87,000. They've been the fastest growing real estate firm in the world the last 5 years, as you know. And it's all because of that financial benefit piece. It's not because the brand is winning in the living room and, it's all great for the agents and the consumers going, what's in it for me? Tell me about your marketing. So, and they, well, we really don't have one, but we attracted all these agents because we have this great financial piece. And well, they did it. Everybody that joined them early on and bought stock or awarded stock at $1 a share, $2 a share, if they held on to it, it went to $150 a share pre-split. And so it was a massive win for those people, but timing is a big deal because as that company grew and in the last few years, so many agents have said, I want in on that, I want in on that, and they joined, but there's a timing issue where you're only in an emerging phase for so long. And in the last couple of years, that stock's actually gone down instead of up. So a lot of disappointed agents going, man, I missed it. Well, that's reality. Real estate companies have a life cycle. They're born and then they have an emerging phase and they'll hit a pinnacle and that'll last for a certain amount of time. And then inevitably it goes into kind of a fade. Tom Ferry refers to that stage as the fading winners. You did something great and now you're holding on, but there's a decline. And I mean, that's just reality. And so we're looking at this partnership with Real as an opportunity for all of you to have really more of a ground floor opportunity. And the stock is
$140 this morning.
$140. But the growth is getting very interesting. Is it starting to accelerate? And I think there's an opportunity to experience what the early EXP people experience, which would just be huge. And of course, the financial benefit of a cap. And what that means is there's an effective commission split where many agents that are doing good business, their effective commission split is 90, 95, 96, 97 when they start doing this big business. And that's insane. But welcome to reality. So the model is sound. One thing that I observed as EXP had this massive growth is so many people jumped on the bandwagon because they go, oh, I'm going to be a recruiter and I'm just, the multi-level and I'm going to recruit this person. Then I'm going to make, and the truth is they weren't passionate about real estate as much as they were passionate about, I want to be in on the multi-level. And that's never been our thought and our passion and our focus from the beginning. We're a real estate company. I mean, it's in our DNA. We've lived it for decades now. And we love it. We love that challenge and that taking that responsibility of making sure the client has a good experience because we delivered value for them. And that's a non-negotiable, for me. And I know for John too, that's our identity. We'll always be a real estate company. And so the fact that there's residual income benefit with a very aggressive rev share model is wonderful, but that's not the end all. And so as we build and grow, we want agents that share our real estate passion and vision. We're real estate people. And there's always going to be the next multi-level. And by the way, the rev share model with Real is very, very aggressive. They're sharing 5% of the gross commission on tier 1 revenue share, which is just massive. Tier 2 is 4%. I mean, it's a model from an agent standpoint that offers a lot. So, yeah, here we are with an opportunity to be able to provide for you what we've been talking about for a few years, and then realizing to create it ourselves is daunting. It is massive. And to be able to plug into a partner that is solid and in a growth mode and with a culture of real estate people. And we've talked to Sharon, their president, who you worked with.
We're gonna play a little clip from him.
Okay,
Yeah.
but these are
I think,
real
right,
estate
Lynn?
people.
Okay.
These are real estate people, and we love that about this company culture. And we're going to get to quite. I know, David, you raised your hand. We're going to have plenty of time to talk and share questions. And so let's play the clip, and I will give you a 60-second update on the market too, on what's going on.
That's always important. Hey, well, first of all, I wanted to thank our staff for the heavy lifting they've done over the past month. Starting with Katie Lehman. Or Doherty.
Our game plan for
Am I
today,
saying
you're
that
gonna
right?
say, all right, Sean,
Just
what are you
got
gonna
married,
cover?
changed her name. Okay, but Katie is now leading our marketing department. And guys, I've run marketing departments for 25 years. And I've never come across Katie. I mean, she's extremely talented graphically. Her bedside manner, as all of you know, is unbelievable.
We need that.
She's a workhorse. She does the amount of work about 4 or 5 people do. And there's never drama. You know, marketing departments are known for drama, right? A lot of drama. And Katie is cool as a cucumber. And we love you, Katie. So thank you. And Eduardo. Eduardo was recommended to us by Sean Halen. And that says a lot, because Sean's about the pickiest guy I've ever met. Right? And so for him to recommend somebody to our marketing department, I was like, wow, okay. So Eduardo, I'm seeing your work. It's fabulous. Thank you. Welcome to our family. And so you're looking at our marketing department right now, Katie and Eduardo. We know how hard you're working. So thank you both. Thank you both. And Leila Hamadani. You poor thing. I don't know how you do it, but you care. You've got a heart that really cares about this company, the people, the agents, the executive team, the marketing. And, you know, every event that we do, whether it's somebody's birthday, I mean, she just knocks herself out. And, you know, she works till late at night and you know, if I want time to really talk to her, she's got Saturdays set aside for us to, you know, go through things. And she's just somebody that has this amazing work ethic, but who truly cares about this company and each one of you. So let's give it up for Leila. So, you know, just in the past few weeks, Leila organized with Mary and, hi, Mary. I'm getting to you. Thanks. But got us moved out of Corona del Mar over into this beautiful building, which I think you'll all grow to love. And took, you know, when you do something like that, there's a million details, right? And there's address changes, DRE to deal with, all these kind of things. And yeah, I hear very little about any of it. She just takes care of it. And it's just wonderful. So thank you, Leila. Yeah. Mary, we have to say how much we love you. I know you've been working so hard, and you're just that smiley face that, again, no drama, always professional. For any of you guys that want a meeting with me, a Zoom meeting with me, Mary's very good at getting you on my schedule, right? So just know Mary takes care of my schedule. And if you guys want to meet with me or schedule a meeting, I have a feeling this little group is going to blow up, and we're going to have a lot of fun this year. This will be our best year ever in many, many ways. And so my schedule, your schedule is going to be very full. So it's important to have somebody like Mary who handles everybody so professionally. And anytime I'm around you, my day gets better. So thank you, Mary. Thank you for just that wonderful attitude you convey and that energy you convey. And then, of course, Shiva. Workhorse, no drama, very diplomatic, very professional. just unbelievable person that we have in our midst that makes sure that your transactions are and your CDAs are accurate and just does that so efficiently and so professionally. So Shiva, thank you so much for all that you do. And what do we do without Big Mike? Mike is, boy, he's put a lot of work into everything the last few months and been working on performance and organization and what to do and what not to do. And we owe a debt of gratitude to Mike Taylor for all of his efforts and hopefully continued efforts to see us really grow this brand into what we all envision. A quality brand with great culture, with great agents, productive agents that shines. That's the company that everybody wants to have that wonderful experience with, right? And so, Mike, thank you for all you're doing for us. We love you and appreciate it. And I could go on about each one of you, Patty, Dylan, all of you that are doing so much for the organization right now. And so let's just give everyone a round of applause. But if you ask me, what is the most important thing about Agent Inc., right? It's you, the agent. I mean, we are here to make this platform serve you so that you can be the best version of yourself. If you ask me what number 2 was, it would be that we're all purpose driven, right? That we go into our communities with purpose and that we know what our purpose is and that we can articulate that, right? That's so important to me. And so what comes out of that is what? Culture, right? And that's what we have here. And we never want to lose that. And and that's why, I'm excited about this being powered by Rio because we're getting some fresh energy. We're getting some fresh leadership. You guys are probably tired of hearing me talk over the past few years, but we've got some fresh energy from some fresh leadership. And I want you to hear from Sharon, who's been a previous partner of mine and just has some great communication skills. And I think he'll energize all of us over the next few years. So Layla, you want to play that clip?
Mm-hmm. Number one,
And
I'm going to
play all of it, just the first few.
Why is any of this even relevant? Mainly, why is it relevant right now? Meaning, what is the culture behind it? What are the values associated with it? Because at the end of the day, if you don't actually belong to something powerful, it doesn't really matter how the business works. So that I'm going to cover the whole part of the why. Then I'm going to give you the what. And you may say, all right, Sharon, the why is interesting. I can make money anywhere. I just want to know the business model. I want to know how I can make more money at Real. I want to know all the pieces. So I'm going to give you the business model. And I'm actually going to give you real numbers because we are extremely transparent in everything that we share. I'm going to give you the real numbers. Third, you may say, well, Sharon, I don't care about the why. I don't care about the what. I'm an operator. I'm a driver analytical. And I want to make sure I understand how deals work at Real. I want to understand how tech work at Real. I want to understand how systems work at Real. And I'm going to share that with you because, of course, I'm not going to be able to go into everything, but I'll give you a good high-level view of all of this. All right. And here's the fourth part. I'm going to give you the fourth part. That's it. Sorry, that was supposed to be a star. That's a star. It's a better star. I'm going to give you 2 other things. One, we had some amazing news that we launched this week that I want to tell you about. And I want to tell you about our 2023 plans and initiatives and how we've already started knocking things off of that. So you know what it is that we can expect overall. All right. This is super important. So if this agenda feels pretty good, essentially I'm going to run through this and then you ask questions. I'll save the last part of it for Q&A for a little bit. But if this agenda looks pretty good, can you just give me a 1 in the chat? Just give me a 1 in the chat. Like, hey, agenda looks pretty good. Awesome. Sure. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. That's great. Man, I have so many friends on the call today. I appreciate you guys so much for being with us and spending time with us. This is super cool. All right, let me fly through and give you more of what it takes. So you may be thinking, hey man, who are you? Who are you? You're wearing a t-shirt, you have a jacket on. That's kind of strange. Like, why should I listen to you? Like, what's your jam in all of this? So let me give you a 10-second background. Hey, my name is Sharon. I'm super excited to be with you. I have a little bit of an interesting background. In the last 20 years, I've had 5 exits. That means sold 5 businesses in the last 20 years. And I'm super grateful for that. Let me give you the differences in overall experience. Technology. So we built a technology company and I got to sell that during the boom. And then I was in the hospitality world. I actually got 4 seasons in Ritz-Carlton training in Hawaii and in the Caribbean, which I thought was very cool. So I understood that world. I was an investment banker with Goldman Sachs and Credit Suisse in New York City. So I'm I understand the Wall Street world and structuring deals and financing deals. I've run a venture and private equity fund. So I've invested in companies. There are probably several of the technology companies that you know in the real estate space right now. I've had a chance to invest in them. So I know their operators really, really well, which is cool. I run a multifamily fund. So I've been investing in multifamily properties for the last 7-8 years. And last year we bought 1,000 doors and this year we're going to buy another 1,000 doors. So going through that process is pretty exciting. But most importantly, you're like, well, the real estate experience. I built and grew a real estate business called Telus Properties. We took it from 1 office and 33 agents to 22 offices and over 700 agents in a span of 5 years. We did 10x in 5 years. And we sold it to Douglas Elliman. And I love the real estate business so much because I love the craft of the business. I love what you do day to day. I was actually in a listing appointment on Monday, 2 days ago, for a $4.5 million listing right here in Orange County. So if you want to talk about actually being on the ground with you, like I'm in the living room today, right? As the president of a company, like I am in the living room helping our agents win more business today. Right. So when someone says, hey, Jimmy said he'd do it for 2%, I'm 96 objections deep. Right. Most of the scripts, objections, et cetera, that a lot of coaches use are mine, which is totally fine because I want you to have great success with all of those. Right. So that background hopefully gives you a sense of all of this. I want to give you. All right. You couldn't see it. No problem. No problem. So here's what I'll do. You like it? You guys are commenting on my sport coat. You guys are very kind. All right, no worries at all. Let's jump into our stuff. All right, so I'll give you the big real story. I think this will be good overall. So right now we are in 45 states, and we're in 45 states and 3 Canadian provinces, which is really cool. We just opened Alabama, and we only have 5 states left. By the way, if you are in one of these states, I would really, really, really appreciate if you messaged me now. West Virginia, Delaware, Nebraska, South Dakota, or Vermont. Say it again. West Virginia, Delaware, Nebraska, South Dakota, or Vermont. If you're in one of those states, you have to message me, right? Because it is my goal to get all 50 done this year. So those 5 are on my plan overall. We got some South Dakota. We got everybody, like so cool, which is so cool. My partner Sheila Dunnigan's on. She's fantastic, and she and I are on a mission to get all 50 states done this year. Let me give you some super high level stats, and then I'll get into something that's really important to you. So we're in 45 states right now, 3 provinces. We have over 8,000 agents, and we are the fastest growing publicly traded real estate brokerage in the world, which is very cool. We did a ton of transactions last year, and most importantly, we are listed on both NASDAQ and on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Please let me explain what that means. So a lot of times people will ask us, hey, Sharon, are you raising money and what is your exit? If you exit, do I lose my stock? All of that. That has all been taken off the table for you. We made it really easy. We're already publicly traded, right? Which means that you currently instantly have access to liquidity. You can go buy our shares on the stock exchange, and all the stock awards that you get are all based on that. So no exit. Our goal is to provide the liquidity for you and grow. So it's not like you don't have to beef up and get venture money to actually have an exit. We're already public, and our entire focus is to help you grow and grow the business overall. So wanted to make sure that you saw that. So the real ethos is broken up into 2 things, and I told you why this was important. There's 2 big pieces to the puzzle. There is you, the agent. You are our client. You are our client. And we do whatever it takes to support you. Additionally, you are also our partner, because we offer revenue share, stock, and other benefits that allows you to be our partner. When you have these 2 pieces together, it provides for a really powerful partnership overall. And I think this partnership, which my entire presentation is based on these three things, allows us to have three things at play. It allows us to collaborate without worrying about silos or anything like that. Second, it allows us to grow because you are our partners in growth. And third, it allows us to perform because if you don't do well as our client, then we don't do well either. Everything that we do is based on how do we collaborate better? How do we grow together? How do we perform better? And that's the ethos of how everything works. And you may say, all right, Sharon, blah, blah, blah. That's really interesting. Take me to brass tacks. Explain exactly what all of that means. So I promised you I will start with the culture and then I'll go into the model. So let's go into the culture first. You're going to hear this one word a lot at Real. And this is just our way of talking about the world, which is we talk about
okay, great.
one Real.
We'll send you the URL and you guys.
We talk about one Real.
But
everything that we do is based on us having one big, strong network. One.
So, a little taste of the leadership there. I'm going to open it up for questions. Who has a question for us?
When will the 85-15 go into effect?
That's a great question. So we have to get our contract signed with Real. We're just in the midst of fine tuning. I talked to him this morning. Everything's advancing. We're just fine tuning some details. And so I'm kind of thinking like around April 1st, right? We'd all kind of become part of that and shares and the splits would change. Guys, the 85-15 is not as good as 90-10, right? Until you cap and this goes to zero, right? So it's way better. So nobody should think about this as going backwards. You're going way forward. So just make sure you think about the cap when you think about the split.
That's 85-15 with no royalty.
That's a net.
Yeah,
85.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no admin,
Most of
no
you right
credit.
now are effectively 84-16.
Yeah.
So you're a little better now, but then after a couple of months, you're paying zero or just a small fee for a transaction. So it's way better, way better. Yeah.
Yeah. it's
In the back.
clearly a better
All right.
split.
Question. Broker of record. So we'll Scott, it might
No. It will be the whatever state, right? So Real, just as we were growing, they've created separate entities in each state and separate brokers in each state. So depending on what state you're in, Jerry, would depend on who the broker is. Yeah. But of course, these guys will still be managing brokers for us, right? So you're welcome to call any of us, right? Yeah, because I know you love us.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
What's the advantage of the staying with agentinc versus just joining Real? You say you have that subsidiary company that has mortgage finance structure to it. And in your projection, how long is it so that benefits, I'll say, the stay with agent?
Great question.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for answering that, or asking that question. Escrow is up and running, right? Mortgage has just begun. What are we in our 6th month?
We were effective October 1st.
October 1st, right. Those will accelerate now much faster because they have a much bigger group of agents to call on, right? Including our escrow, et cetera, which
And that sits outside of Real.
that all of these ancillaries will move into a corporation that we just set up called agentinc World Holding Company. It's a Delaware corporation. And so the idea is that you would have stock in that privately held company. And we haven't worked out the details yet, but we're thinking that there's probably an annual distribution from profits from those ancillaries. And none of us know how fast it'll grow or how profitable it'll be. But as I said earlier, based on my experience, those are what makes a real estate company it's profit, right? It's bigger profit margins in those ancillary services. So, I would say, if you like the brand, if you like the leadership team, if you like the marketing team, and you want this additional potential value of the World Holding Company annual distribution, To me, it's a no-brainer, right? Because, you know, you could go, just join Real and that would be your brand and, yeah.
I think it's been fun at the stage somebody's in their career, it's no brainer. I don't know how long that company will become profitable or start paying
Right.
dividends out to the agent.
Right.
And would you add new agents to that company or just the agents that you're taking away from, you know?
Oh, no, we plan to grow Agent Inc. all across the country and throughout Canada.
separately then?
Oh, yeah. No, we look at this, you know, as a way to just do it much faster. Right, and more effective,
This is the vision of Real.
powered by. And what that, you know, so what that does is they absorb all the expense. You get a publicly traded stock immediately, which is, that's what makes us, and the cap. Those two things really make us competitive. It's so hard to do it organically. It just takes a long time. You know, if we just kept going down the path that we're on, you know, we would, let's say we get our public shell approved through the SEC next month, right? Well, then, as Mike would tell you, then we have to audit every ancillary for 2 years, right? You gotta go back and get 2 years audits. And then once those are all approved, they, you know, they move into the holding, and that would have been what you were trading. And so this thing is just dragged on and dragged on. And I'm looking at this like, hey, we've been talking about this for 3 years. And it could easily be another year or more before we're actually put it all together. And then you have the expense of it all and everything. So we think this is much better to plug our ancillary companies into an already 9,000 agent body count that's licensed. You know, we don't have to go around and license in every state. It's already licensed. And so I just think it's a way to get there much faster and deliver on our promises to you today instead of, you know, constantly saying, well, we think it's coming, and you know, that I think a lot of people just got a little frustrated with how long it was taking us, right, to do that. And when I saw that it could even be longer, this just made a whole lot more sense. Yeah. But David, going back to you, I mean, there's certainly no downside, right? I mean, there's just potential upside.
Have you found is there gonna be a CEO in charge of that privately held entity, or is it gonna be our current management?
Yeah, I'll remain the CEO, and we are the board. We've got a board all in place for it, and we'll just be, you know, as we get funding for the title company. I mean, each one of those will have its own board, and so it'll be fun. We get to, you know, we get to keep being creative and growing our brand. Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
So for example, I'm on the team. How does marketing perception, public perception, what's that gonna be like? So I'm part of the Henry Horner Group. So am I Michael Camphor of the Henry Horner Group, part of Agent Inc., powered by Real?
No, you don't have to say powered by Real.
So that's all
So-
the background of the back office.
Real is doing business as Agent Inc. So Agent Inc. is all the public sees. So your branding doesn't change at all. There's no change.
The goal is to take the DBA of Agent Inc. We relinquish it. Have Real Brokerage pick it up. As an approved DBA, we have all the flexibility to market the way we market now. And so you have an option. You do not have to mention Real Brokerage because it's an approved DBA. You also have the option of including the narrative. By the way, Agent Inc.'s powered by Real, the fastest growing publicly real estate firm in the world, blah, blah, blah. So there are options and there's flexibility.
So what does that do then to the management structure? Like you just said, if it's a DBA, they're doing business as Agent Inc. Are they now becoming, they would obviously be the owners of the name.
We control who can be under that brand.
Only the people that join our Agent Inc. team can use the Agent Inc. identity and marketing and brand. Not anybody else at Real Brokerage. Mike,
let me say, there is such an advantage to this, it's unbelievable. Okay. One is that we get to retain all of our identity. Every bit of our marketing doesn't change. Not one bit. Okay, unless you want to say our view, then we can change it. But by doing this, what we've done is that we have created an ability for you to go to one.
Agents under agenting.
The name of real brokerage, which doesn't mean anything, nobody cares if it stands for anything, right? And when you recruit agents, because the tier one ratio guys is 5% with a $4,000 cap. If you recruit 100 agents to the agent marketing group at Real, and they all get their cap every year, you earn $400,000 without doing the deal. Okay? You wouldn't have the same narrative if you didn't have the agent brand. Okay? It wouldn't even be close. The other thing is the agent brand is a luxury brand. So all the markets that we are all in now that are luxury markets, we don't have to take a brand like EXP or take a brand like Real Brokerage where nobody has a clue what that is. And we pay the agent brand. So as an agent with the agent group powered by Real, okay, you have all the benefits of all the brands that you have the benefits from now. You don't give up anything. And in fact, you're able to recruit more people because we already have a we already have stock awards. We already have the ability to buy stock at a 20% discount based upon an agent's production. We already have an annual award based upon your hitting a cap. Yeah.
Yeah, the people on Zoom can't hear you. If you can come closer.
So
Mike.
Yeah, if you can come closer, Mike, can you come closer?
oh, yeah.
Yeah, because nobody can hear it.
So,
Or the people on.
so literally, what's been given up is the ability to have stock to John, Scott, myself, other people. We have put the agents before that by having the strategic alliance with Via. It's a strategic alliance and it is phenomenally benefit. The other benefit, if you join Real, there is no way that you can get stock awards and participate in an ancillary holding company that has all the ancillaries that John's described. You're not going to participate in mortgage. You're not going to participate in an independent escrow company, which we will set up under that holding company. You're not going to participate in our covered title companies that will go throughout the United States. Okay, and each of those entities, we are in part of the agreement that we're talking about. We're getting permission to take our story to their growing population throughout Canada, 3 provinces right now. And those 3 provinces, by the way, have about 90% of the total population of Canada. Okay, we're in 45 states now. The ones that they're not in have such a low population that I wouldn't worry about it, because we're in all the high population states: California, Texas, Florida, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I mean, I can go on and on in order. But guys, this is, I mean, I've been around this business a long time, and I look at it as a businessman, not just an agent. There's never been a greater opportunity. There is nobody who's joined Real that would have the same opportunity as those people who joined Real through the strategic alliance and agenting.
You have something that I think is really important. That's a big takeaway. And that was earlier when you said, we're not losing brand identity.
That's correct.
And when John was talking earlier about people maybe needing to boutique, when I learned of Real, and a bunch of people in this room called me over the last week or so as things have been buzzing, and I didn't know what was going on. We haven't spoken, John and I haven't talked about it with Scott, but everything was up to conjecture. And are we joining some larger brokerage? And what does that mean to our identity? And the one thing that you just said, I think is really important, is we're still going to be agenting. We're still going to be, as you referred to it, a luxury, high-end.
We're going to be a marketing brand driven by Real. And none of us, John, Scott, and myself, none of us have the economic responsibility of a brokerage. That's pushed on to a public company that currently has $30 million in their banking. $30 million.
Mike?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you again, but can you please move
There.
closer? Sorry.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry, guys. Anyway.
Be one with the mic.
Yeah. Well, I've been quiet throughout this whole presentation, but guys, this is the most exciting thing that I've seen in terms of how we move forward in our industry. Because, and I'll just give you a history. In 2013, EXP had 400 agents. Okay, they pioneered this approach, this economic approach that aligned the interest of the agent and the company together. And since 2013 through today, they've grown from 400 agents to 87,000 agents. EXP is the largest brokerage company in the world. They're larger than Coldwell Banker. They're larger than Keller Williams. They're larger than Home Services of America that owns 33 franchises.
That's Realogy.
They're Realogy, yeah, it's a different name now. They have.
Anywhere real estate.
They have Coldwell Banker, Sector 21, Sotheby's, they have all of it, okay? EXP has grown from nothing to the largest brokerage company in the world because of this model that aligns the interest of the agent and the company.
Financial.
And that's why when we were looking around and trying to see what the future was like, that's why we wanted to go to that model. What we discovered was that it takes a lot of time and a lot of money. So how do you do it faster? As John said, you have a strategic alliance with somebody who's already there. And then you don't lose anything in the branding, right? So other than doing a little bit of DRE work and a little bit of, we don't change anything. Okay. And by not changing anything, guess what? To your clients, nothing's changed. To the public, nothing's changed. To the agent that you're trying to recruit, a lot has changed because instead of talking about where we're going, you can talk about exactly where we are. Does that make sense? And so you guys, all of us, not just you guys, me, John, Scott, you, okay, everybody, Angela, we all have this phenomenal opportunity just by having this strategic alliance that we wouldn't have had for some period of time. So we should all be jumping up and down and thanking whoever we want to, that the decision was made by the ownership to put the agent first, okay, provide the tools necessary to be part of the future and not hang on to the past. All right, anybody have any questions?
And I know there's a bunch of hands up. Poor Jerry's had his hands up since day
Oh,
one.
sorry,
So
Jerry.
since the first question, so I want to honor that. And
I just want to make one observation. The most important brand every one of you should be thinking about is your brand.
Jerry, you've got to come up here. No one will hear you. Well, not no one, the people on YouTube or Zoom.
The most important brand we all should be considering is our brand. How we brand ourselves to our customers. There is continuity to having your brand and Agent Inc. going forward. Real is a great opportunity. You could go and do that on your own, any one of us. But this is a known quantity. And for those of you who are looking towards the future, think about that. Think about how you position yourself. And that's what will make you successful. And I think everybody here is giving you that opportunity to continue that. And I think that's a great thing.
Well, and
So
make more money. I mean, let's face it, we all work really hard. It's nice to work really hard, have support behind us and make as much money as we can, right? That's a great thing. I mean, how do you lose under that environment? You don't unless you don't work. But if you do the same amount of work, you make more, right?
I also would like to add to that. I just got back from Seattle and I was able to speak to this #1 producing team, real estate team over there. And EXP came up and I asked them why they think that EXP wasn't as successful in the state of Washington and particularly in Seattle. And their answer was that they miss the luxury aspect of the industry. And this is what we are providing here. This is what the vision is, to provide that with all the other good things that Real already includes.
Question?
So for those of us who have contracts that are about to go into motion or are in motion right now, how does that in any way affect those contracts?
It's only a matter of paperwork, but other than the paperwork, there's absolutely no effect at all. Yeah, there's no effect. There's no effect at all, because every listing that we have, okay, will be transferred under the strategic alliance with Real. And every portion of that contract will be on it. The only difference is that Real has, and I actually like it, quite frankly, they have across the board 85-15 to the cap. So you don't have to negotiate. We don't have to say, oh, gee, instead of paying 6, I want to pay 4. Instead of paying 90, I want to pay 92. You know, none of that takes place. It's just cut and dried, but with the cap, guys, with the cap, it doesn't matter what that number even is. Because once you hit the cap, other than $250 a transaction, you guys are home free. You know, every dollar you make is yours. Okay. And where else can you do that? You can only do that at Real, and you can only do that at EXP. EXP has a $16,000 cap, Real has a 4. EXP caps their tier 1 rev share at 12. Real caps their tier 1 at 4,000, where EXP caps it at 2,800. Okay, that's almost a 25% difference just in the cap amount.
And the rev share numbers are just
they're unbelievable. And the other thing is Real. I mean, I first looked at Real over a year ago, and in the state of California at the time I first looked at it, Real had 300 agents in the whole state. Now, guess what? They have 1,300, and they're growing every single day. They have tripled in size in 1 year because of the benefits to the agent. And we are blessed that we can all go together, all have that benefit, and all be part of a growing company who's pioneering the model that, I mean, who is settling a model that EXP pioneered. Okay, it's a perfect storm with the benefit to the agent, to us agents. I'm an agent. Okay.
So immediately we're 1% better than we were if we were at a 90-10. If you were on the top split with the agenting structure, you automatically get bumped to. And then after hopefully your first deal, you're 50% ahead.
For the next year, you're home free.
Choose.
It's unbelievable.
Is there a geographic, like, we as agenting, do we have just some exclusivity geographically?
We will have, once the agreement is all completed, we will have an exclusivity by using the branded name. There is no geography. That brand is no limit. That branded name will go to Texas, will go to Florida, will go to Arizona, will go to Washington, Oklahoma, New York, New Jersey. It'll go everywhere. And
we're talking about that agent Inc.
Agent Inc.
But what about the Real? Like, are there going to be competitors in the markepalace that are also going to be aligned strategically with Real?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you want
Just
that
like you two are technically competitive. And you and I are technically competitive.
But the bigger the brand grows, the more it helps me in the living room, because look at all the market share we have. So, you know, I mean, there's an energy around growth.
Well,
You want your company to
You
be.
can actually say you're from Agent A today, and you go to the living room and you say, we have 9,000 agents, okay, between 3 provinces and Canada and 5 states. And the minute I list your house, we're going to send out an email and show its availability to all of those agents. You're going to have a better story once we make this transition than you have today.
Yeah, far and away.
Mike,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I promised that Zoom people, so we're gonna answer some
Sorry.
Okay, Zoom.
Oh,
questions.
Let's see, what will happen to people with the referral agent status?
They will remain the same.
Okay, what about, is there a franchise fee on an 85-15 split?
No, there isn't, but let me tell you what there is. Okay, Real has an annual fee of $750. They allow that annual fee to be paid out of your first two transactions. So it's in addition to this 85-15 split, it's $375 for your first two closings. And that covers.
Yeah, so, yeah,
It's phenomenal what they're doing. And the reason they're doing that is because they have no bricks and mortar. Do you know Compass has put their world headquarters up for sublease in New York? Because they're losing $180 million a quarter. Okay, and they have no path to profitability. Everybody's scrambling, trying to get rid of their bricks and mortar. We were lucky that we were able to extricate ourselves from our brick and mortar, go into this environment that we have here at very, very low cost. Okay, and you as an agent with your cap, you're going to make a lot more money. If you want an office, go lease something. We'll get it approved as a branch. We'll help you get it approved as a branch. Okay, that's what
we've already done that.
Real has 6 branches in San Diego County. EXP has 20 branches just in San Diego County.
And we're
Because
gonna follow.
we're just going to follow that model.
Right.
So you got to do what you want.
Right now, we have Real's first merger with another real estate company.
Real is always looking for real estate groups or companies to have a strategic alliance with, to have them join their overall operation. To the best of my knowledge, we are the largest group or company that they're going to enter into a strategic alliance with. Now, Real in San Diego just recruited a Compass team that does $200 million a year. And they don't have any branding. They don't have an agentinc brand. They have to be Real, or they have to be their team. But they are actively recruiting based upon this model of a whole lot of people throughout the country. That's why on a percentage basis, they're the fastest growing real estate company in the land. And you know what else they are? And I can say this because I've had the pleasure of being on a Zoom with both their CEO and Sharon, their president. They live by 2 rules: the golden rule, and they want to teach people how to fish instead of fish for them. Those are their 2 rules. And you know what? It's all the way down to their soul. That is who they are. And guess what, guys? That's who we are.
Yeah, there's really an alignment.
That's who we are. That's why I'm here, because of that alignment. Yeah.
Does the $12,000 cap start from January 1st or April 1st?
Well, typically, that's a great question. The way that all of these caps start is what they call a year that the people join, the month that people join. Okay, so if somebody joins in December or joins in June, it would be 12 months from
It's
now.
an anniversary year.
And if we all, if as a marketing group, we all join them in the month of March, then all of our anniversary dates will be March.
One other real key point, and we are going to get all the questions, so we're not leaving here in a few minutes, so we'll get every question. One big thing to me is that this model has no monthly fee. Many of you know EXP has a $89 monthly
85,
fee.
85.
Real has no monthly fee. So, see, I mean, all the ingredients are really exciting from an agent perspective.
Hey, Mike, so overall, as I'm hearing this, it sounds like we're a team being absorbed into a larger platform.
The technical term is we're a marketing.
Okay, and then to piggyback off that question is, do we have access to the same hierarchy that we have in place right now? Or do we report to a different leadership group, a different marketing?
It's the intent, okay? And the reason I say intent is we don't have a final agreement. It's the intent that all the people that you can rely on for service today, you will continue to rely on for service. What we're trying to do is we're trying to in the strategic alliance, we're trying to get Real to absorb some of the overhead for some period of time. Okay, just so you know, I mean, and how it works. But our goal and everything we've presented, and John can attest to this, has been that we keep everybody together, okay? And that everybody who's currently providing service to you would provide service to you and may even provide service to others.
And then my last part of my question is, now that we've transitioned to this location, are they picking up the cost of that, and do we have access to this?
Let me tell you what I know, and I know that I'm probably stepping on somebody's.
Layla
toes.
has more details on
Yeah,
that.
but in this kind of model, okay, you can come in and go to the office to pick something up or to do something, right? If you want a workspace, WeWorks has, and I've already put it on my phone, I've already tested it. They have a thing called the WeWorks app, okay? And you can go into the WeWorks app and you can look at all the spaces in WeWorks that are near you, whether it's this space or any space, right? And you can schedule a time to go into a workspace, a private office, conference room, whatever you want. And then they have a small hourly fee that's associated with that. And in every one of the capped models, the agent, when they need that space, that becomes part of their cost of doing business. Okay, that's how that works. Because under this model, in order to give all the agents so much more money than they have now, what you can't do is enter a lease in a high rise and nobody comes to you. Okay, so you can't do that. And that's why you look at Berkshire, you look at Keller Williams, you look at the Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's, you look, they have all these leases throughout the country, right? They can't extricate themselves. They can't go to this model. But every agent is free to leave that model and come to this one. And they have in droves, has been proven by EXP and it's being proven by the yield today.
Great questions.
Danny?
Okay.
Winner.
No, so after listening to this, it's kind of like you just got adopted by really rich parents.
That's a great that's a great analogy because that's exactly the truth.
Yeah.
And aren't we?
Your thing, but yeah, really rich parents.
You know, I have two adopted children. They're age 24 and 23. Okay. And everybody tells them how lucky they are. But my wife and I look at each other and we say how lucky we are. Okay. Yes, we are lucky. Okay, as a group. But guess what? So are they. Because they get the expertise and leverage off of John's experience, Scott's experience, my experience. Okay, they all of a sudden now have added to their team some phenomenally successful people that have been in this business for a long period of time. So they feel lucky too, and so do we. So it's a great win-win. It's the best win-win I've ever seen in the real estate space to date. Go ahead.
This is a personal question. How do you plan with going to this model? How do we plan to keep the culture that we built together?
For the same way we do now. We do it through meetings. We do it through Zooms. We do it through personal interaction. Okay, we deal with new marketing pieces. We do it with everything we currently do. Nothing in that respect is going to change.
And we do want to create more live events.
Well,
We invite somebody.
post-COVID, you know,
Yeah.
we're all out of our COVID cage now.
But that's a big part of keeping and preserving and building a culture.
But
And
you
it's-
know what? There's going to be a lot more people that are going to be a part of this.
Robert.
Okay, hello guys, Robert Cole. I know John for 13 years. That's how long I've been with John. So I've been through this process with John. And one of the questions you guys gotta ask yourselves is this. If. You wanna put that?
Yeah,
Oh,
we can't hear you.
Come on, Robert. Get him, Robert.
Okay.
Don't scare anybody.
I know, right? Anyway, so I guess, when I met Scott, when he was with Berkshire Hathaway and they came over to our office, and to recruit us to Berkshire Hathaway. Took in this nice boat, went to the yacht, you know, and my first question that I had was, what was going to change in regards to our branding, the culture John has always had. And for me, it wasn't necessarily the change. It was more necessarily how it's going to affect my personal brand. And that's really what you guys should be thinking about more than anything else. So when I sit there and think about this transition and listening to John, Scott, and everyone else, that's what I'm thinking about. The process for me didn't change at all, not one bit, in regards to the way I presented myself, the way I spoke to my clients, my marketing, so forth and so on. So what I'm letting you guys know and understand is, if you weren't going to move before because of John, why would you move now? So that's really what you got to ask yourself as an individual agent. What would you do in that particular situation? I've always believed in John. Like I said, I'm the longest tenured agent with John as being on his team, and nothing has changed. I mean, the market has changed. Obstacles have occurred. We're dealing with different market than we were in the past. But in regards to the way we presented ourselves or the way we brand ourselves, that should never change. And if that were to change, at that point, I would make a different decision. So that's really the question you guys should be asking yourselves. Besides what Real is offering, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, you're the front face of your brand. So whether it's good or not, even if they want 100% now on the commission, is that the brand that's going to represent you, or is it agentinc that's going to represent you? That's really how you should be thinking about this particular decision. So that's my 2 cents.
That's good, Robert. It sure is gonna increase the recruiting opportunities to be with the only luxury brand within the
Oh, yeah.
home.
You have no idea. I mean, I've had conversations with people in the EXP world. I mean, big people,
Stand up so
Like
I can
live-
see you. Okay, I'm sorry.
like living in Puerto Rico. They're so big, and because I got to deal with all my taxes on all my money, that have literally said to us, we would love to have our financial model and have your brand identity. And I love that. I mean, I absolutely love that. And so
We had a question in the back.
Are we still getting marketing and photography?
Photography is something that we're trying to work through right now. You know, by us doing this, as a brokerage, we get a lot less money. So, you know, being able to give you guys photography for all your listings is something that's really in question. In fact, even recently, we've been kind of grandfathering and honoring certain relationships with you. But we'll make an announcement on photography soon. So that's a really good question, Janet.
What about marketing?
So Katie and Eduardo, there's no change, right? So you go to Katie for your customized graphic. Yeah. And no, look, I'm marketing, right? This
The pictures really help when we have great quality pictures.
absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
I just experienced that with my listing, that I did my own photography and it just out there.
It's important.
We don't
It's
want to
very-
use that.
Yeah. So we'll make an announcement on that.
Photography.
And guys, you know, I was an agent for 22 years before I came here. And I paid for all my photography, okay, as an agent, and a relatively production agent, not as productive as John. But there are great photography companies out there that are great prices with virtual tours, with links. From my photography company, I get an update every month that tells me how many viewings took place on various websites of my clients' properties. And I just send it to them. They love it. They can say, okay, this person saw it on YouTube, this person saw it here. There are some great companies, and the photography cost has come down from what it used to be, 15 years ago. So I wouldn't let photography stand in the way. The other thing you have to keep in mind, with a $12,000 cap, how much more money do you as an agent have to make your own choices? And that's part of the beauty of the model, is that you can make those choices and you get to decide who's good and who's bad, right? And so take advantage of that.
And thank you all for the questions, and we're going to continue them. But as you know, just about everybody's had their hand up, and I know Renee on Zoom has
Renee?
had her hand up for like a half an hour. So Renee, we want to get your question.
Renee, are you there?
Well, we can come back.
Okay.
How about another question or two from those on Zoom or YouTube, Leila?
Okay. Will agents continue to accrue agenting stocks?
The stock question relates, it's two parts now. There's the real brokerage stock opportunity, and then there is the Agent Inc. World Holdings stock opportunity, which right now would be private stock. And so there's two groups. One is in place today, as you know, we've been talking about. The other is still in development. But it's back to David's question, why Agent Inc. and Real versus Real on their own? Well, to have some opportunity and ownership in an enterprise building out the ancillary companies. That's a big reason. Second big reason we've talked about, brand identity. The Agent Inc. brand, the luxury pedigree, the culture, everything about Agent Inc. that we love, that we're going to carry on.
Okay.
So
Will agents need to move licenses to the new company?
yes, because they will be the formal broker. And they are set up to transition all of that. And they've gotten good at it with the growth of how many thousand agents this year. So, yes. And again, back to having a foundation of a brokerage powering everything we do, that's handling all those moving parts, everything relating to that. So our focus can be on growth, growing your personal business and growing the Agent Inc. brand. I'm loving that.
Paperwork with our existing listings.
Any paperwork with existing listings, we can simply transfer over. In fact, Bob Barnhart today, this morning, he's listing a $1.8 million house in Dana Point. He goes, "What about the listing?" So just sign it, transfer it over. But they have systems in place to do all this. They've been doing this and obviously getting very good at it with their rapid growth. So it's nice to have that. Nice to have that support. Say it again. Listing broker, the broker will be Real brokerage, and they will have, and we talked about this, a broker in each state.
How do we explain this? That there is listing brokerage,
There's all sorts of talking points.
Let me answer that question. When you sign a listing agreement with a client, because Agent Inc. is a DBA, right now, Agent Inc. is a DBA of residential. When you put Agent Inc. into your listing agreement, you're putting in a DBA. Residential Agent Inc. Okay? So when we have our licenses at Real, okay, when we fill out our listing agreements or our offers, okay, we're going to put in Agent Inc. because it's going to be a DBA of Real. So nothing's changed. Now, the only time that it's going to show as a broker being Real is going to be in the MLS printout, okay, and in the syndications. But in terms of everything else, it remains all the same.
So that's what he's asking. Currently, we're residential Agent Inc. is the broker of record on our listing contract.
Oh, you can put in, you can actually put Agent Inc. now.
Will we have to change the existing listing contract?
Yes, but if you put Agent Inc. and it's a DBA of Real, you're fine.
Just the DREs.
Yeah, it's
Just the DREs can.
public facing, client facing. It's not an event. I'll take 30 seconds on the market for those that are interested. So here's our big picture as to reality today. You know, we started the year in Southern California with days on market at about 108 days. And it had been going like this, right? You know where it is today or as of last Friday? 54 days. It's cut in half in 2 months into the new year. Nobody saw that coming. So what drove that? Why did that happen? Listing inventory has plummeted, which was a surprise. Pendings have gone up, which they always start doing the first of the year, but they've gone up at a more rapid pace, which was a surprise. So from supply and demand, that's how you get your days on the market. What that means for listings right now in Southern California, we're barely over 20,000 active listings. 3-year average prior to COVID, about 35,000, way below the 3-year average prior to COVID. Remember those 3 years prior to COVID? What was our conversation? There's no inventory. Geez, we knew there's no inventory. Well, that was 35,000 active listings. We're now about 20. Very interesting. You know what it was back at the Great Recession in Southern California, active listings? Anybody want to take a guess? About 100,000 active listings. In Southern California, we got about 20 today. Amazing. So, well, these are all talking points to help a buyer have confidence in the market, which is what they're looking for from us. And a seller to have confidence that, hey, you know what? Prices aren't eroding because you've got the supply and demand. So you're still selling close to the all-time high price. I got to give my clients clarity. If I can give them clarity on confidence to make their move, I'm worth my weight in gold as far as earning a commission. Most agents aren't worth a nickel because they can't guide the client. That's what we get paid to do. So I just want you to be informed. So there's the market. Pending sales started the year at like 8,000 in if that in Southern California. We're now 11,000 and change and going like this. Love it. Yeah, it's below the 3-year average, which is closer to 15, but so what? The market's wonderfully fine. And it's a perspective. I think pendings are going up because people are digesting the fact that rates aren't 3%. So what? I thought about all the homes that I've bought and sold over the years with rates at 10%, 12%, never thought about it. And by the way, personally, I did a lot of 30 due and 7, where I only was fixed for 7 years. I knew it just, so what? The rates will come back down, I'll refinance or I'll move. And, it's just, there's such an opportunity. And Dylan and Patty, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. And another key part of it, you get a pre-approval from somebody that's going to deliver every time. And you look like a hero to your clients. I lived it. I took way too much credit because I introduced them to people like this. I looked like the hero. The agent got the deal. Win, win, win. I had almost no deals fall out, during years of a bad market because I worked with people that knew what they were doing, were up every day, every promise they made because they knew what they were doing. They delivered. I love it. So what are rates today? 7-ish.
Low 7s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna go high.
So low, I don't.
It came down a little bit today. We had a slight decrease.
But you know what? Look,
It doesn't matter.
Does not matter.
We can't control rates. What we can control in our conversations with our clients is to set the strategy, how to deal with the market at that moment. And that's really where we have to have a mindset.
and there's your value.
There's your value.
Consumers are looking for it right now because most agents are deer in the headlights. What's going on? I don't know. I've never seen anything like this before. I don't know. I'm scared. How are you going to help them have confidence? They're going, I don't have a clue right now what's going on. Geez. So you can be the person with clarity and conviction and confidence as to here's what's going on and here's what that means for you. Oh my gosh. So good stuff.
I got one more thing I want to share.
Let me turn the camera around.
Yeah, I got one more thing I want to share with everybody. In late 2020, okay, the Department of Justice and the National Association of Realtors entered into a settlement agreement as it relates to how buyer side commissions are disclosed or not disclosed. And in that settlement agreement, the association, National Association of Realtors, put out an edict to every association and MLS in the country and said that by June of 2020, you have to have a public disclosure of the amount of commission that the buyer's agent is going to make. And that was all in process. And then we had a presidential election. And when Biden came into office, he instructed the DOJ to rescind that agreement. And so immediately the National Association of Realtors filed a lawsuit stating that they didn't have the authority, once they've signed the agreement, to rescind the agreement. And guess what? 2 weeks ago, the appellate court upheld the position that Biden had absolutely no authority and the DOJ had no authority to breach the agreement that they had already signed. So what's going to happen now is the National Association of Realtors is going to send an edict to all of our associations and MLSs where there will be a new box, and this new box will be the amount of commission that the buyer's realtor is going to make. And that is going to be in the syndication. That's going to be everywhere. So every buyer is now going to know how much their agent is going to get paid. And the reason I want you to know that is I don't want you to be surprised. And we're going to start creating narratives about the fact that you know how much the seller's paying me. It's under a listing contract. Okay, both you and the seller can take this information in your negotiation and come up with a number that you agree upon, and then you can move forward and buy the house. So just be aware that that's coming. Now, there are 3 pieces of litigation that are even trying to overturn that. And those 3 pieces of litigation are in different states. Okay, we don't know what the outcome of that's going to be, but we do know that CoStar is trying to put their finger on the scale so that it comes out that there is no buyer side commission, that you have to negotiate that with the buyer. So that's where it's going. But here's the other thing. If all of that happens, the most important thing and the people that get paid the most money are the agents and the companies and the marketing strategies, et cetera, that control the inventory. All right. You want to control the inventory. And speaking of inventory control, one of the reasons that we're all really excited about our current negotiations and finalization with Sell Whenever, it gives us more inventory opportunities. Okay. It's a perfect timing with respect to where it's going. Right. So that's something we're involved with that Real's not involved with. We'll take it to them. Where Berkshire's not involved with it. Caldwell Banker, Sotheby's, Century 21, all of their brands are not involved with it. So stay tuned because we're looking forward enough to try to create strategies that will help you control the inventory and therefore get paid in what we think is an interesting growing market. So that's another thing that we're working on. It's very beneficial to you. And all I can say is the balls we put in their court, but just stay tuned because it's coming.
Okay. Lastly,
Many of
Dylan.
you haven't met Dylan Keatle, who is our president of Agent Mortgage. So if you haven't met Dylan live and in person, you can today. Give a quick update.
Yeah, I just wanted to hit on what Scott was saying as far as interest rates. Patty and I have been working on Agent Mortgage now for just about a year, and we're just so excited to be working with everybody. But what I wanted to say is, I know the hot topic is always interest rates, right? What are the rates doing? When you work with Agent Mortgage, all of us, we are never pre-qualifying your client to the 49.99% debt to income ratio, because we know that these fluctuations are going to happen day in and day out. And this is how we're protecting you so that we don't have the fallouts, right? That Scott mentions, is there's always a buffer factor in there for these slight fluctuations. Now, 2%, 7%, that's a whole nother story, right? But there's always a buffer that we have planned in for each of your clients. So, and I know Patty does, and I do as well. I always discuss that with the agent and saying, hey, this is what you're pre-qualified at. There is a buffer factor in there in case rates move, or you need a little bit more here or a little bit less over there. So just keep that in mind as rates fluctuate, because it's not really stable. It hasn't been stable. We've just kind of seen this up and down. We're really there to protect you, and we're doing as much as we can to protect you guys and your client from those rate fluctuations. So yeah, as discussed, we're right around upper 6s, low 7s right now. So
good stuff. Thank you,
Thanks.
Dylan. And Patty is actually our CEO of Agent Mortgage. So we have both of you here today. And let me this has been a kind of a town hall. Let's talk about everything. And I want to make sure we're messaging very respectfully. We've talked about other companies and done comparisons, including EXP and Compass and all. Look, these are great companies in many ways. We hold them in high regard because of their amazing success. And so I don't want any of the comparison to be viewed as a disparaging comment about anybody, because we all have friends at these fine companies. We're amazed at their success. We acknowledge their success. We work together. And so I just want to make sure that we keep that in perspective. Our comparisons have nothing to do with disparaging anybody. In fact, we give them amazing credit for what they have all done, and we want to be like them as we grow. So I just think that's an important part of the narrative as we compare. So that's all I have.
Any more questions? It's been a long one. Thank you, Lindsay.
What will be our physical address for listings and when we go to reorder? This happens.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to.
Two things real quick. Mentor program we didn't talk about. New agents will join our company. They'll be on an 85% split. Then they'll pay a referral fee of a certain amount for a mentor for 3 transactions. It's as simple as that. But this whole idea of a shift away from mortar and brick to put more money in your pocket, I experienced it, I kid you not, in the early 90s. I was working for the biggest boutique successful company in Orange County, and their headquarters was on Lake Mission Viejo. I had the best office in the entire space. I was on the lake, and they made all these custom windows for me. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that, I didn't deserve any of that. And I left that because I realized I could get a better split from the company if I worked in my amazing home office. And I did that in the early 90s to get more money in my pocket. And so I'm so comfortable with this whole idea.
Speaking of address, can you touch on what our lease term is here and what our access is? I know you're probably sent out.
Yeah, as far as the details of this space, we're brand new.
Let me address that. Remember when I talked about the WeWorks app, you can put it on your phone. Okay, right now we have a large office here. It has 3 desks. If somebody wants to come in and pick something up, like for marketing or do something, they can come in and go to your office. If you actually want a work space, okay, then you go on your WeWorks app and you can set an appointment to have a workspace for a minimum of 1 hour of time. Okay, they will designate that space to you. You come in, check it, tell them what space you're going to go to. Okay, and then they simply just bill you for that time. Is how that works. So in terms of having an office where agents can go in and sit in a cubicle or sit down and 10 people can do their working. Under this new model, whether you're with EXP or with us or with Real, that's gone. That has to be gone because you can't spend money on empty brick and mortar and still get the agent more money. You can't do both. So the decision was under the new model, let's give it to the agent. Let them make their own choices. I think it's such a freeing approach because we as agents get to make our own decisions.
And you'll see more agentinc branches popping up. We have Henry Horn and Beverly Hills right now. It's a
places. They just get it approved as.
It's a branch on the DRE website.
As a branch under Real, okay, and what have the agentinc branding on it because of the DBA.
Yeah.
So guys, it's just so it's seamless, except for behind the scenes with the rest of the. See all the pretty much all the next video. And there's so many. It shouldn't just go. We don't have to be good. So, it's a really cool.
I know, but you say goodbye to them.
Pretty good. Coffee's good.
Layla,
Yes.
hearing?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I just want to say something. So tomorrow I'm having the guys out here and John out here to Rancho Cucamonga. I don't know how I pulled it off, but we pulled off inviting 50 to 60 agents in less than a week. And this opportunity and everything that you guys brought to the space today is so exciting. Do you know how many lives we're going to change? It's amazing. So I'm so grateful. I'm so excited about tomorrow. And I can't wait.
People were changing lives.
Thank you, Carrie.
Secured their own office on historic Route 66 in Rancho Cucamonga. They're on Route 66, all the visibility, about 1,500 square feet, made it black and white and very cool Asian ink. And so that's a glimpse of the future. We're going to see teams and groups join us that are going to literally open offices like this. Yeah, our vision is all over. And we'll make them branch offices with the Department of Real Estate.
Also, I'm thinking I will set up a Zoom to talk about WeWorks and even have one of their members on there with the flyers and everything. So you can learn all about how it works. But I love it so far. So it's really nice and easy to use. There is a cost to it, but it will make sense to you since you're saving a lot of money.
More details to follow.
Yes.
So is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Sign off for everybody?
Yes. Thank you, guys.